My father said I wasn't allowed to be taller than him, and he meant it. My parents required all children to have their legs surgically shortened at age 14 to ensure we never grew taller than my 5'3" father, because he believed tall children were looking down on their creators. My father was 5'3" and had spent his entire life consumed by rage about it. He kept this disturbing scrapbook of tall criminals with C written across their faces in red ink, like height itself was evidence of evil. Mom was 4'11" and equally bitter, constantly ranting about tall women who'd stolen jobs and boyfriends from her. They'd met at a support group for people with height complexes and bonded over their shared hatred of anyone over 5'5". They even designed our house with low ceilings and miniature furniture to create a world where they finally felt normal-sized. When I was a teenager, my parents took me to meet Dr. Kovac in a strip mall medical office. He'd lost his license for botching surgeries, but still operated on people willing to pay cash for extreme procedures. Dad had found him on forums for insecure short men who wanted to surgically shorten their children. "This is the genius who's going to do your surgery," he said. I didn't know what he meant until they started showing me x-rays marked with X's where bone was going to be removed. "He's an artist. Look how well he did on your brother," Dad said. And that was when my blood ran cold when I realized the nightmare that was coming my way. Because my older brother had been a talented basketball player before his surgery. I was really young when he had his surgery, so I didn't remember, but I'd seen pictures of him, tall and smiling. But now he moved like someone whose legs weren't on quite right. His calves were visibly crooked where Dr. Kovac had removed bone segments, and he couldn't climb stairs without gripping the railings like his life depended on it. My parents celebrated his new height of 5'2" by buying him clothes from the children's section and taking family photos where Dad could finally rest his arm on his son's shoulder. I'd never known exactly what happened to my brother, but I was finding out now, and fast, because now it was my turn. My parents started preparing me for my own surgery by making me wear weighted ankle bracelets to get used to impaired walking. Mom measured me obsessively, growing more agitated as I reached 5'6", muttering about maybe removing extra bone to be safe. She'd force me to stand with bent knees to preview how I'd look post-surgery, saying, "Every inch over 5'3" is an insult to your father's authority." They presented me with a consent form claiming I was volunteering for the procedure, thinking it would protect them legally. When I refused to sign, they withheld food until I was too weak to stand, saying they were giving me a preview of feeling small and powerless. I decided I needed to damage my legs myself in a way that would make Dr. Kovac's surgery impossible, so I secretly started training for a marathon. Every day I ran further, pushing through pain, deliberately creating stress fractures in my bones. On the morning of my scheduled surgery, I slipped out before dawn and ran 26 miles without food or rest until my legs completely gave out. The hospital x-rays revealed fractures throughout both tibias, lighting up like constellation maps. Dr. Kovac examined them and immediately refused to operate, explaining that cutting through such damaged bones could cause them to shatter completely, and a shard could get free and pierce my heart. My parents tried to talk him into it, saying they were okay with the risk, but he refused. My parents dragged me to 3 other underground surgeons, but each one took the same position. The fractures were too extensive and too fresh to safely operate through. They'd have to wait at least a year for proper healing. For a minute, I thought I'd won, but my parents were going to get what they wanted: surgery or no surgery. They pivoted to what they called alternative height management, which meant physically shrinking me through any means available. They forced me to sleep in a wooden box too small to fully extend my body, claiming compressed spines don't grow as tall. Mom started dosing my food with growth-stunting hormones she'd ordered from the same forums where they'd found Dr. Kovac. They installed a metal bar at exactly 5'3" in every doorway that smacked me in the face whenever I forgot to duck, training me to walk permanently hunched. Dad paid my already shortened brother to attack my knees with a baseball bat while I slept, hoping they could damage my legs so much that a reputable doctor would agree to remove them. When I tried sleeping standing up to protect my legs, Dad built this modified rack that he could crank together each night to compress my spine and joints into a smaller frame. Everything unraveled when I reached 5'10" despite their efforts, and Dad snapped, coming at me with garden shears to sever my Achilles tendons. The neighbors heard screaming and called police, who discovered the compression rack, the hormones, and contracts for multiple illegal surgeries. Both my parents received 15-year sentences for aggravated child abuse. I'm 6 feet tall now, but if anyone mentions it, I immediately start apologizing for being disrespectful.